Have you ever tried the keyhole system for putting together dies? Today I'm going to play with the Altenew die sets and show you how that works and how easy it makes to put together elements. And I'm going for a card, so I will be combining the Quill and ink set along with the Parchment scrolls, and these really make great focal points. So I'm starting out by putting together the ink. It comes with 4 different dies, and if you look at the bottles, at the top there is a little keyhole. So all you have to do is to just align one piece on top of the other, and they come together really quickly. You don't really need to think anything on how to put these together. Now for the cup I used silver cardstock to cut out the 2 pieces. So first I'm going to place the one that has the keyhole again, and then on top of that the other little piece. And that ink is complete, absolutely love it, and I know that it would look great in all kinds of colors. So I'm thinking I can make a card with rainbow ink colors on top. But anyway, let's move on and put together the feather. For that you have 3 pieces. So I went with pale purple for the actual feather, then silver for the second piece, and then with copper for the third top piece. And the fun part is that when I create something, always ideas pop in my mind. So as I'm making this, I am thinking that it would look great if I used vellum for that feather. Anyway, let's put together now the parchment. It looks kind of difficult, but really the keyhole system makes it super easy. So I went and used cardstock all the way from darker to lighter tone, then just align them in order, and all you have to do is to place one keyhole on top of the other. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. You can see the keyhole on one side. Eventually this is not going to show because the top piece is going to cover it up. So you can see here how I put everything together, and again I just went from darker to lighter cardstock, and you can just look at your stats and go for that. Or you can just cut out all the pieces from white and use your ink to do that. Now obviously the parchment scrolls would look great with shades of brown, as you can see in the packaging as well, but I didn't want to go for a vintage vibe for this card. I wanted to look kind of fresh, clean and simple, so I decided to just go and use completely crazy colors. That's why I went with all the shades of purple, and you will see that it kind of comes together at the end. Just an experiment here, but you will let me know in the comments if it did work for the style that I was going for. Now this is the top piece that is going to cover up the keyhole, and you can see on the side how this looks like it is actually rolled up. Lovely piece. So I do have the 3 elements which are going to be my focal points. Let's stick the ribbon here, and again this is a piece that I cut out from the same glitter copper cardstock that I cut out the piece for the feather, for the pen, so that it kind of brings everything kind of together. Now let's work on the panel. For that, for the background, for that I'm going to start by splattering some metallic watercolor, and I do have the Altenew metallic watercolors here. Just because I do have the copper on the pieces, I will use the copper color for that. And I'm just going to go to town, just add some splatters there. This is going to add some interest on the background without making it busy at the same time. Plus, it ties somehow the background with the foreground by using those copper details. Now I'm going to add some interest on the background by doing a little bit of inking. And because some inking is never enough for a background, I'm going to bring in a stencil. This is a set of stencils from Altenew, again from the latest release, but I'm only going to use one of the 4 ones that come in the set. And I'm going with the relief paste. Now let me place this on top of my sticky board just to make sure that it's not going to move. I'm going to stick the stencil on top of that, and then I'm going to apply the relief paste. This is shimmery, and I'm trying to find a color that matches perfectly with the details that I have. So I ended up using the rose gold one, which I think matches perfectly. And then I'm just going to use my spatula and apply it. Now look how gorgeous it looks. It is nice and thick and it holds its shape. I love that it is thick because when you apply it over a stencil, it really gives you a good impression without going underneath the stencil. So I'm going to use some of my new spatulas here. I have the new set by Altenew. And I don't know about you, but there is something satisfying on applying a paste over a stencil. I don't know why I love it so much. And also the reveal, when you peel off the stencil and you see the outcome, absolutely love that as well. And hopefully as I move my spatula into the product, you can probably see how thick it is. Now, don't waste any product, just scrape off all the excess and put it back in the jar. I like to use a piece of pressing seal on top of that so that I know it's not going to dry on me before I use it again. And now on the most satisfying part where you peel off the stencil to see what happened. And I absolutely love the look of it and how that color of paste matches the color of my ink blending. I'm going to peel it off very carefully because it isn't dry yet, and I'm going to try and catch the light for you, so hopefully you can see how it looks. Now, just because for me everything is in the details, I want to have the same details on my focal points as on my background. That's why I'm splattering with a metallic watercolor, again using the same color that I used for the background. For my card base, I went with a white card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I did place the panel that I created, again adding dimension, so I used some foam tape at the back. And now I'm creating the composition using all the 3 designs that I have put together. And because I love dimension, you can see that for some of the pieces I went with foam squares to create some depth, and for others like the ink bottle is going directly on top of my background with glue. Now for the sentiment I went with a simple high, and I think it is a lovely card to send for any occasion. I did cut out the word high from the darkest color of cardstock that I used for the parchment scroll. The dot on top of the eye is the finishing touch, and here are some close-up photos where you can see the details better. A full list of all the supplies that I used can be found down below in the description. Thank you all so much for watching me today. I hope that you had fun and that you got inspired.